If we can settle down, maybe I should say good afternoon because it's just past 12. And I'm very grateful to the organizers for inviting me to chair this panel. I suspect that the organizers have found somebody who's completely ignorant about the topic and persuaded me to chair. The one reason I'm also here is that I learned a long time ago that it's easier to say yes to Professor Ashok Mishra than to say no. And the topic that we will discuss is what the IITs can do for the other higher technical institutions in India. Or another way of putting it is that the IITs have long sought collaboration with industry. We've had a long panel. The IITs now seek to see what collaboration there can be with the other technical institutions. We have a very distinguished panel. We have with us Dr. M.R. Jairam, who will speak first. He's the chair of the Gokula Education Foundation, one of the best known higher educational foundations in Bangalore in Karnataka. He's also the Chancellor of the Ramaya University of Applied Sciences. And if I can describe Dr. Jairam in 3 words, he's an outstanding educationist, an industrialist, and also a philanthropist. He's been very widely recognized for his contributions to both education and to society. We are also fortunate to have with us the Vice Chancellor of the Ramaya University of Applied Sciences, Professor Kuldeep Raina, solid-state physicist, material scientist, had a long career at the Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology in Patiala, and then was Vice Chancellor of the Dehradun Institute of Technology in Dehradun, and then moved here to Bangalore, to the Ramaya University as its Vice Chancellor. Then we have Professor Kantesh Balani, the sole representative here of the IITs, currently Dean of Resources and Alumni at IIT Kanpur, and in the Department of Material Science and Engineering at IIT Kanpur, although I noticed that originally you were a mechanical engineer and then possibly defected to materials. He's very well positioned to comment on the subject of discussion today from the side of the IITs. And we also have from the private educational institutions which are growing at a very rapid pace in India, from the SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Dr. Ratnam, who is in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering and also has the responsibility of heading their Directorate of Alumni Affairs. Now, what we would like to do really is we have 45 minutes, and in these 45 minutes, I'd request each of the panelists to make a short statement on how they perceive the problem under discussion. And then we will throw it open for free discussion, both from the audience as well as amongst the panelists themselves. To warn the panelists, the order in which we will go is Dr. Jairam will be the opening batsman, and he will be followed then by Professor Kantesh Balani from the side of the IITs. And then I would request Dr. Ratnam to speak, and then we will have Professor Kuldeep Raina speak, and then the panel will be open. Thank you very much, and may I call upon Dr. Jairam.
It's all right. Yes, sir. I don't mind. This discussion is going to be very important to all the institutions in our country, especially the technical institutions and medical institutions. Little giving a bit of a background. I am not only the chairman of the Chancellor of the Rama Institute, but I am also the the president of the Karnataka Private Colleges Association in our state of Karnataka, and also the elected president of the EPSI, that is the All India Education Promotional Council of India, which is the body which represents all the institutions in this country. We have more than 6,000 to 10,000 universities, both engineering, medical, and general sciences. After having said this, I think I've been going around and I've been seeing the problems that we have been facing, especially the private institutions. We give almost 80% of the students of the country are studying in these private institutions. So it's going to be a very big player. And with this, taking the statistics, whatever the government statistics are, it's very gloomy. The All India, if you want to take it, that we have 14 lakhs students passing out from engineering colleges, and the employability is about 1 lakh and 10,000, even less than about 10%. It's nothing much great when you talk of Karnataka. We have 150 engineering colleges, and 1 lakh and 10,000 students come out, and about 19,000 students are employable. This is the status on which we are in now. I think things are getting very, very serious. Can we allow these students to be unemployable? What are you going to do with that students? That's the biggest thing, all of us have now to think. And IITs, to me, I think they have to play a very crucial role, very important role in how to integrate with the industry, with the institutions, with IITs. See, you were the 70 years back, you took the collaborations from all over the world. People came and you started. Now you have enough or more than experience, and now today you have more than 23 IITs in this country. Now, how can we collaborate with these institutions in two ways, or to me, is how do we make our students get the outcome-based education is number one. Number two is how do you make them skills development to be given both to undergraduates as well as to the postgraduates. Now, we are not depending much on government. Let us be very frank about it. I'll just give you one example. In Karnataka, the private association we have formed, and we formed, when we came to know that so much of skills has to be, given to our students to be employable. So we started this skill development in centers, the whole of Karnataka. 4 are in Bangalore, 1 is in Mysore, 1 in Mangalore, Belagaum, and Gulbarga. So we have integrated all the engineering colleges with these centers. And all the students go there to each one of these centers. They are being allotted, and they get their training for the first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. We charge them just 1,000 rupees. Now the question now is, if we are able to develop these skills in much better way, what I would like to ask the IITs is, now we are not only getting into the undergraduates, we have to now get into the postgraduates. To do that, we are going to spend money. You see, the association is quite rich enough, and we have almost spent about 30 crores in developing the centers itself. It's our own money which we have collected. We thought it is a responsibility of institutions to do this. So we have done it. And we want to now develop a high-level center, virtual center for postgraduate students. Now, how do we do that? So we have good, some of the well-known scientists who have been advising us, and we would like the IITs also to join with us in developing this type of a center for the postgraduates. The other day when I went to UP, the chief minister invited us, and we said, can we replicate this to all the engineering institutions in UP? Oh, in this. So they have been very, the UP government has been very, optimistic about it, and they want us to start this skills development to all the undergraduate colleges in UP, and I think in next 6 months' time we are going to do that. So they are spending, the government is spending per student 7,500 for the delivery. The infrastructure is there, and the building is there. Only we have to go and deliver this, courses to all the students. Now the question now is, the skills development in undergraduate and postgraduate is becoming more and more important, more and more visible now. So I think IITs has to come forward in trying to help us in developing in higher levels of the skills. And we are prepared to do it. I think once we start, the other associations all over the country, they start. We must stand on our own. There is no point in depending on the governments. We should stand our own, and we want you to, academic and the institutions, IITs and institutions, to come together. We have to solve our own problems. This is number one. Number two is about the outcome based. We are talking about outcome based, but actually we have not yet started. We may have just begun. It may be 5% or 10% or 20%. I see a picture where if we don't do it in next 3 to 4 years, many of the foreign universities are going to come and going to be the people who are going to join with us and start this outcome-based education. Before that comes in, can we as IIT, you have enough strength, you have knowledge, everything is there. Can you now start this developing of relationship with these institutions, engineering colleges, and where you can bring the modular system of education and training of trainers. We are prepared to help you. You have to send your people. We are going to be partners with you. IITs and engineering colleges are going to be partners with you. You take it from me. We are very serious about it. We want you to come, develop this modular system, and how the student should be able to start this, the problem solving, all this, education, and how we develop this. Now already, as you know, even the LG or lower KG and the first standard students are getting this outcome. The problem solving has already started in the first standard, second standard. If we are going to lose out, I think we are going to be losing out very heavily. So we want, if industries has to be helped, I think if outcome based and skill development, both of them are not immediately tackled or how to solve them, I think we'll be missing the bus. So others will take over from this, and they will become we have to go to them. And as we did from the last 200 years, going to them, and we have to now again go back to them, asking them, please help us, and we want your help. So I think that time has come when all of us have to stand as institution, as the president of the EPSI, as the president of the Karnataka State Private College Association. I am telling you pleading with you that we can become real good partners in this. So with this, I think I leave it to the other panelists to take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll initiate some premise. Apparently, I feel students are the same when it comes to curiosity, sincerity, enthusiasm. They are no different whether we call about any college, including IITs. And secondly, what Dr. Jairam actually mentioned, it is to integrate. And that is very important. It really impressed me because it is a responsibility of everyone to come and serve as a society. That is very, very important. And I'll just, I think, base my, I think, comments only on two aspects of student and faculty, then I'll give my, what challenges are. So apparently students, when they come, they would just like to learn as much as possible, improve their communication skill, not only technical, but how to express them, and have a good experience where we can call them learned, so they can contribute back to society, either industry or for further studies and into research. And as it comes to faculty members, definitely there is a need of ensuring that they get the right experience. Sometimes that is the issue in terms of what is happening around us that forces us to take the next step. And typically what I observe in colleges is that they are overburdened with teaching. Unless and until they get enough time to reflect, to think, to ponder, they will not be able to take and provide that required output in terms of research and going ahead, marching ahead and to leave a global mark. And very well said, it requires skill development, and also it requires involvement in writing, technical writing, expression. Only once they are apt, they'll be able to transfer it back to the students for the erudite learning. In terms of problems, there are certain solutions as well. So I'll just highlight them. First, starting with that, to integrate, it is very important that IITs, other colleges come together in writing projects. So it should be a joint collaborative effort from both the parties to come forward and participate. That will help us not only do the problem successfully, but also ensure that everyone gets the same experience of what the problem is, how industry is pitching it, or what the research lacunae are, and where we should go forward together to build the country. Definitely workshops are required, whether they are technical, non-technical. Those also will definitely help. And one more part where I also will emphasize that currently technology is changing very rapidly. Our ways of teaching also have gone ahead. So now we should reach the student. We should provide the necessary technology. Like we should be able to also provide, after this NPTEL, this National Program for Technology Enhanced Learning lectures, can we build up virtual labs? So that effort of consortium also is there to ensure the labs actually reach the student on their mobile phones. While they are sitting, while they are standing, while they are in cafeteria, can we somehow reach them? And again, I'll end with again the integration part, that yes, each thumb, each finger may be good in itself, but the strength only comes when it becomes a fist. So that's how we should go forward. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. And it's a very memorable day for me and our institutions. I could see many of our guests, speakers who have visited our campuses as the persons available here. So I'd like to say about our group of institutions where we do have as 4 universities with the SRM University at Chennai, SRM University Amaravati, Haryana and Sikkim. And the SRM IST, which is the deemed university, has 5 campuses in Katangulathur, Chennai, 2 other campuses, Trichy and Modinagar. So with all these things over the past 4 decades of experiences and having blessed to be there for 30 years plus in the institution, having grown along with the institutions, I'd like to say some of the pain points which we face as a private institution. And as we all rightly started by our moderator, Professor, stating that the holistic view of the student is being to be faced. And so as a nation, as a student, we don't need to demarcate on their learning environment, on the ecosystem as the country as we have to provide. So with the holistic education, when we divide that into 3 aspects, it comes into the knowledge, skill, and the character building. So the activities which are there in the entire campus, we need not call that as academic, extra-academic, and co-curricular and extracurricular nowadays. It becomes as a holistic situation or ecosystem wherein they will immerse and then become as a better citizen for the nation to be served. So with that focus, the administration, the faculty members, and the student have to come together in any institution. So in that, as quoted by the famous authors, that the first duty of any university is to bring or teach the wisdom to the students, not only the talent, not only the abilities. So the character building, the wisdom has to be focused on. And wisdom, as we all know, that it doesn't come on instantaneous spot. It comes over lots of experience, lots of suffering, lots of learning. As we all know that these eminent national institutions of IITs and importance have been built over so many thousands and lakhs of faculty members and students and their entire life being dedicated. We do have that branding of IITs and that wisdom, that emotional attachment, what is being there with that IITs, etc., is something which is not there across the nations except those 25 centers. So what we have to imbibe right now is the kind of wisdom which is there is with the alumni. So as said by our patron, Murthy sir, Narayan Murthy sir, that no one is bothered about the institution except their alumni. So I see that the Alumni Association and the Directorate of Alumni Affairs or Alumni Relations in every institution as being properly taken up as an initiative of IIT ACB right now can come together as a channel or as an interface to open the point of collaborations or whatever we talk about, whether it is a faculty supporting schemes, joint conferences, proposals, sharing infrastructures or sharing with the platforms, building virtual campus or virtual labs and so on. And majorly, this alumni association can do all sort of engagement through the alumni engagement in the institutions, and across the institutions, the associations can have a collaboration as rightly what is being done at IIT ACB, and that can be brought later as a national level platform, which definitely, as approved by Ministry of Education, IIT ACB will be the leading front, wherein the all association can join together to bring in that flavor. So when it comes to our institution, as all our institutions, regardless of government or private, we do have a very good sound legacy on some of the important aspects. And this sort of platform can bring all those things together to understand the insights on each other and then bring back and then try to implement and then follow the leaders of that particular legacy. So in that aspect, we do have three different major points with respect to our SRM IST Katangulathar is that we in 2011 have created an exclusive institute for research alone. It is called SRM Research Institute, wherein we have a separate building and 9-story building which is being named as C.V. Raman Institute. So the reason why I say that is the faculty members who are there on the research track have brought in so much of laurels, and including the Nature publications and being listed in the Stanford list on the last year, and they have been connecting to the departments for the research front. And second one is on the Industry Institute interaction, our 200 plus faculty members have been trained under Faculty Immersion Institute Program, FIIP, wherein minimum of 2 weeks to 1 month, the faculty member has been given on duty or the sabbatical for them to join the industry, spend the time there across the nations and come back with the abilities. And third one is right now as we are imbibing on the startup ecosystem, some of our startups have been capitalized with 200 crores and so on. So the reason why I am saying is the important legacies are there everywhere and we need to bring in the best out of it for the nation building. And there are three pain points which are there in majority of the private institutions. One is that there is a clarity which is there at the upper level on the management side, what is to be achieved at the national level, institution level and the campus level, or also on the college level. But that conversion from to the tail end staff members and the faculty members, unless the vision is not being inculcated properly, the executional, the understanding of the vision, the mission which is being put forth for us is not being cleared, so it goes in a different direction. How do we get that wisdom from the experienced learner professors and the veterans here so that the private institutions can get into that? That one. Number two is on the students, as they can be made a clear mindset for focusing on the holistic learning. They either concentrate on serious affair or on the other side and they migrate. There is no that holistic vision is not being imbibed for the students. Number three is for the faculty members, especially like our institutions where the average level is very less, the age level is less, the focusing on excellence. How do I focus, imbibe every day that I will become an excellent faculty member? That culture. So basically touching the culture of every private institution through the IITs where the culture is being far better and it has been well proven across the globe. How do we connect the best culture of the IITs to the best as a culture towards the private institution should be, can be deliberated, and some of the action points can be taken by IIT SEB. And I represent the entire institution to support and then follow the action plan which are being laid out. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
A very good afternoon, very honorable panelists, our honorable chancellor, and all friends and colleagues here. At the outset, I would like to compliment the IIT fraternity that we have descended on the beautiful city, which is city of startups. When we were the students, we used to say the Silicon Valley of India. I think since then, much more has changed. We at Rama University of Applied Science extend you a very, very hearty welcome to our city. And I think it is a culmination of a new thought process which you and us together have to see and create something new for tomorrow. The theme which has been given to me is how the IITs can help other technical institutions. I am personally helped by the IIT Kanpur itself. I always consider Professor N.C. Nigam one of the mentors, followed by many, many IITians. I had a job with CSIR in Delhi, National Physical Laboratory, to start with. And later he interviewed me and asked me, will you join the teaching fraternity? I said, will you give me a house on campus? And that time the pay scale was 740, 1300 for scientists to be. And for a faculty, it was 740, 1300 and 1600. I was not lured by 1600, I was lured by the interaction that happened during the discussion process for about 1.5 hours. It was 11th of October 1985. Friends, IITs are one of the premier institutions that the government has set up on the soil of this country. 1947 to 1987 precisely, 5 IITs, we used to crave to get into the IIT system, limited number of seats, cutthroat competition, and then from 1986 to now, it has gone from 5 to 7, and now we have, I think, around 23 or so. I think growth shows that there is a need for more and more IITs, more and more capable people in our country. At the same time, if you look at the growth that has happened in the private education sector, probably if I draw 2 graphs, I think it is more. Not that we wanted it. I think there was a requirement because India was at the learning curve of producing more and more engineers, and that gave us a fillip to see that computer science from India is the most preferred destination for many people. And what has happened over the years, all those conventional programs that we set up in the engineering colleges primarily and shifted to the IT, BT, and later on to computer science, got a fulcrum point shifted. Friends, all engineering colleges in this country are also looking forward to your guidance, to your mentorship. At the same time, what we can do in collaboration, partnerships. In an era when we are in 2023, I think the education for 27 is going to be different, education for 2030 is going to be different, and thereafter it's going to change. In that learning curve, there was not much movement, but if you look at the graph, the steepness, like a creep curve, we go, we came back, and finally we went to a status where we need to learn more, and for that, I believe, every technical institution in this country have not to be identified whether it is IIT or a private engineering college or a government engineering college, because each one of us, as the first step, are catering to the needs of educating the students. out of 22 lakh students who appear for JEE main, finally how much churn to go into the IIT system? If it is 1%, not bad. If it is 1.5%, I think it is the better. If it is 2%, it is the best. But look at that 98%, what are the opportunities for them? They have the equal right for the resources. They have equal rights to say and express. And each one of them has passion, fire in the belly to know something more. My appeal to the IIT fraternity and the leadership here is, can we try to create a synergize that how you and we can work together, partners for learning outset, and it can happen only if we put a curriculum at the forefront first. All regulatory bodies have their own processes of asking institutions set a curriculum. But I know precisely IITs go a step ahead of that. Can we have a flexibility of curriculum, despite NEP speaks about it, but its implementation may take some more time. For that, at the Board of Studies level, which forms the basic core of any academic institution, academic council, senate, and all that, they become just approval authorities, but as members of the Board of Studies. Furthermore, at Ramaya University of Applied Sciences, we have introduced the 3 internship concept. We probably believed at some time, because I come from a model which was a cooperative education, collaborative education, which was given by the University of Waterloo at one point of time. I was also a part of that system, that how we can have a 5-year collaborative program, cooperative program, 4 years on campus, and 1 year in 2 streams in the industry. I have taught those students to try to understand the Waterloo model. But now, with our own model, can we also open up opportunities for our undergraduate and postgraduate students to do a couple of projects in IIT system as a part of the internship? I was listening to Professor Satyanarayana that 6 months internship is quite good if we can also synergize. That now, are we going to have the manpower only for the corporates? I would say yes/no. Because corporates also have their own constraints of hiring, and we have seen over the years that how it is also coming down to the saturation level. But if we look at the NEP document, by 2050, if gross enrollment ratio has to touch around 50%, how many institutions are needed, how many teachers are required, how much infrastructure is furthermore needed. So I think we also need to train people to go for post-graduation and the doctoral degrees. Many IITs, my couple of very good friends, they did masters here, went outside, did their PhD and came back, and even today they are the faculty members of the IITs. I think there is no need for us now, despite being independent for 70 years, and putting one of the richest resources in the higher education domain, that they can get the degrees from the IITs itself. Now the question comes, how can we work it out? So is there going to be a kind of a virtual modus operandi for sharing the knowledge, sharing the platforms, sharing through virtual tools, so that as a teacher who is non-PhD, maybe at Ramaya or any other institution, also gets mentored by you, whatever the guidelines are set, I think we will certainly respect that. We have also taken an initiative, thanks to our Honorable Chancellor, when we go him, sir, this is required, I think it is hardly any time he says no, to have an industry associate programs. Friends, a faculty member of Ramaya University today can go up to 1 year, 2 semesters to a corporate to work there. And we are committed to provide him all possible facilities and the support system. In that, he will be our employee, may work in IIT or any corporate system. Before this session, I was listening to corporate friends too. We are there to take the initiative so that we are not burdening you. But I think we need to identify, locate the problem where you want the help of the academics. Best of the corporates globally do not grow from the corporate. I think academic institutions also play a very, very significant role in that, in the Western countries. Can we look at our own Indian model to take it forward? We also took an initiative in the university to offer 70 fellowships to the students at the postgraduate level, 40 GRFs, 20 SRFs, and 10 postdoctoral fellowships. I think it also gives opportunity to our postgraduate students to travel across, and your students also to come to Ramaya University of Applied Sciences to bridge the gaps wherever they are. And furthermore, when it comes to mentorship, I personally feel, because the fulcrum point has shifted from core engineering, during our times, it was electrical, mechanical, civil. And we used to say mechanical is the green gold. I don't know where that green has gone. It has all gone to the green energy or perhaps to the computer science. We, in the private institution sector, largely need the expertise, the opinions, the advice from the IIT systems to train our faculty, especially not only in AI. AI comes later on. I think the coding, programming becomes the one of the essential skills. So what many institutions do, they will hire someone as a capsule module for 2 weeks, train the people, they will be placed. I think I am not favoring that model as such. I want there should be a continuum in the learning of a student. It is not the degree, it is the knowledge behind the degree which is going to give the dividends to. Friends, I think I see ample opportunities, many more to come between this collaboration of yours and us. With this as a center, IIT, ACB, I think it is a hybrid model, primarily I see, Mr. Nanta, that we would like to certainly partner with each one of you. On my personal behalf, I am sure my Honorable Chancellor has a permission for saying so. Let us start, let us make a beginning. And if we sow the seed of success, I'm sure we are going to have a very big tree coming out of it. Thank you very much.
I think the problem is very clear now. How can the IITs and the private educational institutions collaborate? And Dr. Jairam has also made an important point that vast majority of engineering graduates coming out from the institutions are what has been publicly termed as unemployable, and something needs to be done about it. So I think the floor is open for anybody who wants to make a comment, and I think we should take this mic around. Yeah, we can start from that.
I'm Venkapaya R. Desai, Director of this home state, that is Karnataka's IIT, that is at Dharwad. So recently, IIT Dharwad has been included as a QIP center by AICTE. So that is a very good platform for teachers to improve their quality through qualifications. Those who have bachelor's degrees, they can apply for there are formal just I think some 2 months back in July there was a last date, if I remember correctly, if my memory is right. So can it is sensitize your colleagues to apply under QIP for either for masters or at a PhD level. So that will definitely that is one this one. That's what I wanted to bring it to your notice. Dhanyavad.
I have a signal from the organizers that we have 5 minutes. So
I will take 1 minute.
you take one.
Good. So 2 points that I want to make when it comes to collaboration. It can be one at the teaching level, second at the research level. So at the teaching level, NPTEL has been started quite some time back, basically to help a number of the students in private institutions where at least once upon a time there were not very good teachers. So can we fill that gap? And recently IIT Hyderabad has come up with a new way. The NPTEL has one problem, that it is passive way of learning. Okay? How do we do active way of learning? We call it as OAT, open to all teaching, where we say all courses at IIT Hyderabad are open to anybody as long as the timetable matches you. So we say this is the courses available, this is the course content, this is the professor who is going to teach, this is the timetable. Anybody in the world can register for the course. Okay, it can be, we went to the extent that it can be a student, it can be a faculty, it can be a working professional, it can even be a homemaker. As long as you think that you have something to learn, we are here to teach you. And as long as you think you can pass my exam, feel free to join. Okay? So because ultimately I have to give a grade for that particular student. So this is something that we started. Possibly this can be taken up and gone further. On the research side, it is more important that we work together, that both of us, because there is a lot of facilities available everywhere, but we don't most of the time share them. Okay? You are aware that PSA has come up with what is called iSTEM. Okay? On the iSTEM portal, any institution can put their equipment which everybody in the country can use. IIT Hyderabad has put 480 equipment on the iSTEM portal. So they are all available for anybody to use, and we can possibly work together on that. And of course, faculty visiting us and then collaborating, writing projects together, all this can be done also. So we can think of various ways. I think wonderful time is there for us to work together.
I'm S.S. Murthy, formerly with IIT Delhi, and I think we should be very realistic. Fund is very important. Without funds, nothing happens. Okay? Therefore, I think there may be funds which has to be allocated for such collaborations, specifically both from the government and the institution, jointly, so that there is a stake in both the things. And there are several ways, of course, as mentioned, and IIT faculty can definitely mentor the institution through a proper arrangement and agreements and with funding. Okay? Joint projects, joint teaching, helping in teaching, lab development, curriculum development, industry interaction, joint projects, sky is the limit. But without input, nothing happens. In American professors will always say, every minute has to be counted in dollars. And IIT faculty is not on charity. Okay?
I'm Professor Vimal Srivastava from IIT Roorkee. So I have already colleague from Hyderabad told that we have lot of resource sharing can be done easily. It's not very difficult nowadays. What I feel that we have to work together, like with respect to the private institutions or other institutions, we have to see that except the circuit branches, what we can do for non-circuit branches. This is an important issue that will come in picture very soon, because everybody is going in computer science and electronics. So all the core engineering will come into, and this is the area that we have to tackle a lot. And all those branches where help is required, it is already, we are willing to work together. And those catchment areas or those areas will be missing a lot if we don't work right now. Because the demand is there, but people are not there. And because of that, the job scenario is good. But in the research and other fields, people are not available in any of the allied areas except circuit branches. So this is a very core issue that we have to tackle right now, otherwise it will be lacking behind in all these areas. Thank you very much.
I think we...
Sir, a small question.
One last question. Okay, one last question.
I am Dr. Sanat Kumar Rajmane, Professor of Practice at IIT Dharwad, and I am from the field. That's what IIT Dharwad has done. My request is, we have got only one IIT in entire Karnataka. So you cannot always approach IIT for education or improvement of your this. My feeling is, lot of people are there in the field with lot of experience. You can take them as the professors or visiting professors, something like that, so that they can come and teach your either faculty or even the students. So that will also will help you to improve your education system. Thank you.
So I have a short thing I have to say. I am Shripad Karmalkar, Director IIT Bhubaneswar. You mentioned about outcome-based education. We can tell you how to improve your teaching learning process. I'm talking about how an average faculty, every faculty in your institution, can improve the teaching learning process to achieve the outcome, learning outcomes. Can give you a consultancy on this. I can talk about it later. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we must bring the...
Can I have one last question?
You can,
or comment? Okay.
You can have the last comment. Yeah.
So there are two things. One is that IITs and IIC together developed a large number of courses which are under the NPTEL program. Maybe you can say a little about that. As I understand, foreign university colleges are taking advantage of it. I am not sure if you are taking full advantage of it. The only thing is you may have to align your curriculum to what is being taught in that, which should not be difficult for you to do because now you are autonomous and you are deemed universities and so on and so forth. So take advantage of that. As an example, College of Engineering Pune, they collaborated with IIT Bombay to take their online courses there, and they aligned the curriculum to IIT Bombay's curriculum, so therefore they could easily take advantage of that. So that is one thing. Secondly, some reference was made that you would like to send your students for projects to an IIT. Now that becomes a huge challenge because how many students we can take? There is accommodation problem, this problem. What you should do is the reverse, flip it. Have one high-end professor you choose who will come and spend some time with you and mentor 10 or 15 people for projects or 20 people. And you can continue that interaction because now, thanks to COVID, Zoom is now the way of interaction. So I think you should take advantage in that sense. Have somebody come, spend some time with you, 1 month, second month, it could be. Then that professor can actually mentor many, many more students. Sending 20 students, IIT will say no. So, over to you.
Well, I think we should bring the panel to a close. Let me thank all the panelists for their wonderful presentations. Thank you.